So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Intalio's webinar. Today, we have a very popular topic, and that is business process automation. Okay? Hopefully, we will deep dive into workflows and AI innovation. So, as I was saying, my name is, of course, Sherif Arafa, and I am the content team lead at Intalio. It's a huge honor to be the speaker of this webinar. And the second speaker for today's webinar is Intalio Workflow product owner Lynn Dhaiby. Hello, Lynn.
Hello, Sharif. Thank you so much for this introduction, and I'm really so excited to be with you all here today.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so the agenda for today is actually a very exciting one. Okay, we will start by the first chapter, which is business process evolution. I will be presenting this part. We will talk about how the concept evolved over time. And then we will discuss the global trends happening around the world regarding business process automation. And then it will be time for us to shed some light upon Intalio's leadership in this area, okay, after 30 years of experience. And then in our fourth chapter, we will move on to process management. We will go more technical, more deep with Lean. Correct, Lean?
Correct.
Okay. And then we will be presenting one of the most important products of Intalio, which is Intalio Workflow. Now, some of you would love to see, of course, a flavor of this product. So we will do so using a short demo. And finally, it will be time for the Q&A. Business process evolution. Okay, so the evolution of the concept was actually very interesting. We went from processes that depended on manual and paper-based into a digital and online format. Okay, what was also more interesting is that we went from standalone siloed systems, okay, to more of integrated centralized systems. Moreover, we went from, of course, all of you know about ERPs, they've been long in the market. We went from rigid, static ERPs to more of dynamic, a dynamic approach, okay, and low code and no code tools. We also, in terms of business process automation, we went from sequential, rule-based flows, okay, with manual triggers, to more of an event-driven, real-time workflows, okay, with auto-triggered actions. And finally, in the past, there was no learning, or it was very minimum, okay? So there was no adaptation. It all depended on fixed scripts. But right now, and as time passed, there was an introduction of AI and machine learning. And thanks to this, we were able to add intelligence to products, and there became learning patterns, and managers were able to make predictions based on AI and based on data. Business process global trends. So section number one, I'm sure most of the audience remember that there was a certain point of time where automation was the trend. Everybody wanted to have automation, okay? But later on, hyper automation became the standard. What do we mean by hyper automation? It actually means the automation of entire end-to-end processes. So end-to-end processes, okay? And there was also AI-driven decision-making in workflows. Okay, so the ability to use machine learning and artificial intelligence and predictive analytics, okay, in order to support smart routing, dynamic approvals, fraud detection, all of this was made possible thanks to AI. Okay, and the ability to respond to real-time data, not just preset rules. Okay, all of this became possible and was one of the biggest trends in business process. And number three is low code, no code platforms. So basically, nowadays we have a lot of business non-technical users, and they have very specific business processes that they understand very well. So they want to design it. They want to automate a workflow for it. Okay. So in order to do this, they can using drag and drop features, which Lean will tell us more about in the future. Okay. Using drag and drop features, they can design their very own workflows, okay, based on specific business needs. And section number two concerning the global trends, there was also the boom in intelligent document processing. Okay, so integration of OCR, natural language processing, and AI made it possible to extract data from unstructured documents. Okay, so this was a huge breakthrough. And then we have, of course, process mining and task mining. So the ability to pinpoint bottlenecks or maybe identify automation opportunities in your business, this was all made possible. And of course, number three is AI agents and autonomous workflows. Of course, there is a very big emerging use of AI agents that not only execute tasks, but they're also able to escalate intelligently. Okay, they're able to self-heal, they're able to self-optimize processes. This kind of intelligence. Okay, and concerning section three, most of the business process automation tools nowadays have a cloud native and API first automation approach. Okay, so they're built for this specific use. Regarding the customer and employee experience, the ability to oversee the entire process and what the customer passes by when using the service of a specific organization, a specific company, this ability, there became a huge focus on this trend. Okay, and finally, of course, compliance and governance built in. So there is an increase in the embedding of compliance checks, audit trails, and access controls in the business process automation tools nowadays. Okay, so now let us tell you about Intalio's leadership in this area. Okay, so it's actually been a very, very interesting journey with more than 30 years of experience in this area. It was truly a legacy of innovation in the tech space. With more than 1,000 projects around the world, okay, successful projects around the world, of course, supported by more than 700 dedicated professionals. Okay, it's a very, very proud journey. So lots of certifications and awards, including ISO, including Omdia, including Gartner, and finally Cyber Vadis. So it was truly a very, very interesting and intensive journey. So now allow me to pass on the mic to Lynn, who will tell us more about process management.
Thank you, Sharif. That was really a great overview of Intalio's journey with the workflow automation. And now we will zoom into the engine room of that story. So hello everyone again, I'm Lynn Dhaiby, product owner here at Intalio, and I will take you through the core of what makes our process or workflow automation powerful, practical, and easy to use across all kinds of organizations. So let's start with the big picture. What do we really mean by process management? At its essence, process management is about designing workflows that are smart, intuitive, and in tune with how your teams actually work. It's not automation for the sake of it. It's more about removing friction, speeding up delivery, and giving you visibility from start to finish. And at Intalio, we approach this through three powerful pillars, let's say. So let's start with the first one. We have the automation from end to end, and that means you will no more having gaps, no more disconnects. So from the moment your request entered the system until its final resolution, we automate the full journey across departments, roles, and systems. So think of things like, for example, employee onboarding, procurement, or even handling service requests. Instead of passing papers or emailing spreadsheets, everything flows through one unified digital track. How you can streamline your processes. So it's more about simplifying the way your team works together. So as we all know, too often the collaboration between the teams breaks down when people use or rely on scattered tools like emails, like spreadsheets, like even separate platforms. So our role is to bring all together. And what we mean by all together, we bring people, information, and tasks together in one place. So you will no more have who's doing what or where is that document. Everyone is aligned and accountable. And the third one is our integrated modules. So basically, these are modules that bring extra capabilities right into your workflow. And one of them is, for example, the digital signature. So you know, no more printing, no more scanning, no more delays. You just sign up and approve in one click. We
Mhm.
have also our digital mail room, so all your incoming documents are automatically sorted, routed, and processed. No more piles of paperwork. And last, we have our correspondence management that helps you basically to track all your incoming and outgoing communications in one place. Let's now move to our, let's say, the key benefits of using process management. So, what are really, or what kind of results our client are seeing after implementing automation with Intalio? So, by automating processes with Intalio, organizations achieve a higher performance, an improved consistency, and a greater efficiency. Why? Repetitive tasks are streamlined, best practices are enforced, and workflows are standardized. So by applying these, what we will get? The errors are lower. We can cutting costs and we can boost productivity. So teams can focus on high value work while benefiting from better collaboration through shared access to tasks, files, and real time updates. Let's move to the third part. The most interesting part of our webinar today is the
Yes.
Intaglio workflow feature. So let's start. We've looked at the benefits and now we will see what under the hood exactly. So we
Mhm.
begin with our forms and workflows. This is mainly, let's say, your design space. Using a low code, no code, drag and drop builder, you can create a custom workflows and dynamic forms tailored exactly to your business needs. For example, you can design, let's say, internal approval process with multi-step routing, conditions, and deadline alerts, all without writing a single line of code. So it's designed basically for business users who know what's the process, but don't have time to wait for the IT, let's say. The second, we have our advanced form engine, and this will let you do, let's say, more than just to collect data. You can set field dependencies, validation rules, calculations, dynamic drop downs. Even you can pre-fill data from external systems, like if you use, for example, CRMs or ERPs. It's perfect for cases where data accuracy and flexibility matters. Like, for example, when you are talking about onboarding, financial requests, or even regulated environments. On the third part, we have the rules and activities. So within these, you can define exactly how the workflow behaves. So think of it as like the brain behind the process. You can
Okay.
create a simple if this, then that rule, or more complex business logic, like, for example, automatically escalating a case if it sits, let's say, more than 28 hours or 48 hours to get the action done. So this brings really consistency and responsiveness and agility, especially when we are dealing with a high volume environments like customer service, for example, or procurement.
Okay.
Now we will target our task delegation that ensure that works never get stuck. So you can, through it, assigned, so basically the tasks can be assigned to individuals or teams either manually or automatically. So you can build reminders, automatic reassignment rule, or escalation path. I will give you some example of our one of our client in government services. Reduced service request backlogs by 14% just by implementing smart delegation. Now let's talk about my personally favorite feature of Intario workflow,
Mhm.
the visual tracking. All of you must know the proverb that say that transparency is key. And through our visual tracking, you can get exactly that. So it offers you a bird's eye view of every process in motion. So the manager or the people in question can say what stage is each case at, who's handling that case, are we really behind SLA? So it reduces the need for checking emails or manual setup updates. Everything is live and visible. On the sixth part, we have our Intalio's collaboration tool that lets team works on tasks together in real time inside the platform. So users can add comments, approve or reject items. They can also, for example, apply digital stamps or even sign document electronically. So no more emailing PDFs back and forth or wondering who's made that change, etc. And we have also my second favorite feature, the embedded viewer. This embedded viewer brings all the relevant content right into your workflow screen. So instead of having to download files or to open external apps, you can view image, PDFs, scan documents, and more of that instantly without doing any minor effort. Mobile app, and using it, you can ensure that your workflows don't stop when people leave their desks. So you can manage, you can approve, comment on, or even sign cases directly from your phone or tablet. This means that agents or remote teams or executives on the move can stay connected and responsive. And last one, we have our document type. So through it, you can define let's say, the structure and the behavior of documents used in the workflow. So think of it as the blueprint of, or the blueprint for how each document is created, displayed, and processed. You can also specify a unique name, attach a document template with the bookmarks. For auto-filled fields, you can configure a smart reference number, can define it using elements like years, month, or counters.
So which case management feature would most improve your team's efficiency? Okay, apparently automated task delegation and escalation is the majority of the people chose it. So yeah,
Makes
okay,
sense.
okay. So moving on, tell us, Celine, about the AI features.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's say, the most exciting parts of modern automation, the artificial intelligence. And at Intalio, we've taken a practical approach to AI. So we don't just add it because it's trendy. We use it to solve real workflow problems that many teams face every day. So let's start with the first one, our AI-powered chatbot. So it's more than just a pop-up help bubble. It's a smart virtual assistant that understands user questions and responds in real time. So think about HR, for example. An employee wants to request time off. Instead of searching through links or to have to email the HR, they only type, "How do I apply for a leave?" And the chatbot responds instantly, opens the correct form, fill, for example, their name or department, and help them complete the requests.
Perfect.
We have also our AI-powered case summary. So in many organizations, managers have to go through long thread of emails, comments, attachments, and forms to understand a case. And that's really time consuming. So our AI step into the reading for you. So he does the reading for you. It pulls the key information from different parts of the case and generates a short, clear summary for the managers. The third one, we have our document-based workflow trigger. This is where automation meets AI, let's say, at the very first touch point. So when a document come into the system, like for example, let's say contract, invoice, or a signed form, the AI reads the content, extract the key data, and launch the correct form automatically. So for example, let's say a supplier sends an invoice, the system scan it, identify the amount, supplier name, and the due date, then start the payment approval process without any manual input. Each of these AI features is designed really to do one thing, to take the pressure off your team and let the system handle repetitive, time consuming work.
Perfect. So yeah, I guess it's time for the demo.
Okay. So now let's start with our workflow, Intalio workflow designer. So once you log in into the system using your credentials, you will have a centered dashboard as you can see here. So users can manage all existing workflows. Uh, each one will be represented, as you can see, as a modular card view. You will see them like this. And in the top menu, you have several options, as you can see, like to create a new workflow, for example, to import existing one. You have also several types of settings you can use to manage your user, the roles, to fix new parameters, and etc. And for example, to create a new workflow, it's very simple and easy. All you have to do is to fill in the mandatory fields, as you can see, so the name and the title, and you click on save, and the workflow is automatically created. So once it's created, as you can see here, you will have this canvas view, and here you can start to build your workflow. So on the left panel here, you will have several types of activities. You can choose between them. And as we all know, when we are talking about workflow or process automation, every workflow starts and ends with an activity. And in our Intalio workflow, it starts with the green button that reflects the start activity. And here you can manage your initial form. So when you double click on it, it opens here, as you can see, the form that I've already created. So all you have to do, for example, to choose between a large set of web controls, you can use from the very basic ones like test field, text areas, select box, drop down list, to the more advanced. So you can also add an email, a phone number. You can add a file component, as you can see here, as I've added before. And you can also manage the way your workflow will look for the end user, how the initial form will look like using the layout section to set panel and field set, etc. So all you have to do is only to drag and drop the needed component, like I do now in front of you, and and would open you several types of data. You can fix it. For example, you can click on multiple values, so you can add multiple value in each component, and it's applicable for any web control you may choose. For example, even if you choose the mobile number, you have a data validation, conditional, and the logic part. So once you finish by creating your initial form, all you have to do is to click on save, like I did before, and the initial form will be saved into the workflow. Once you finish by creating your initial form, you will have to start by choosing what types of activity you want to set as a path for this workflow. So you can choose the wait or the task activity for assigning tasks to users manually or automatically. You have also the code activity, the email, and so on. So once you choose an activity, for example, you just have to click on it, for example, the code activity, and it appears in front of you like this. For example, in this workflow, we are dealing with an Intalio leave request. So it's an HR kind of request. So once you choose, this is a task activity, for example, if you double click on it, you can fix a title and a name. You can choose who will be responsible of this task, if it's a user, a structure, a group, or even to return this action to the creator. You can fix a due period for it. So if a certain, if this task, for example, it will stuck in the inbox of the receiver for more than 40 hours, for example, it would be escalated to the next activity. And you can also choose a status for it. So once you finish by choosing the types of activity you want and assigning them to users, you can also, by clicking on the form activity, you can create a specific form activity for each task, not only the initiation form. So each user that would receive a task, he can get let's say a specific form activity to be filled and sent to the next step. So once you finish by defining all the activity, you start by linking them through the transitions. It's very easy, so intuitive. You you don't have to have any technical experience to use it. Only you drag it and you drop it here, as you can say. as you can see, and it's done. Even our transitions are totally configurable. By clicking on it, you can specify a name, you can put conditions. So if this happened, though, it will be redirected to the next step. You can also specify an order and a color. So once you finish doing all that, all you have to do is to save and to check in the workflow. And once it's done, we will move to the next part of our product, the Intalio case portal. And here it's the portal for the end user. So you as end user, you will enter the system, you will set your credentials, and you will go to the HR section when you have the leave request that we have previously created. Once you click on it, so user will begin by filling the mandatory fields. As you can see here, we have, for example, the email. You can say if you are available or abroad. Then you can fix a start date and an end date for your leave, for example. And then you will proceeding by clicking on send, and you will have the generated reference number for each request. So here you can also manage it. So through the case designer, you can manage and customize a specific reference number that you will use. So here, for example, I have the string as the first content, then a separator, month, and the counter, exactly what you are seeing here. So, and the workflow will take the path that we have created previously. So it will go to the next user, to the supervisor one, and so on. So this is what you can do using our workflow process automation product.
What's your biggest challenge in managing service requests today? So just choose one of them. Is it manual workflows and form handling? Or maybe it's slow task reassignment or escalation? Or limited visibility into case status? Or maybe lack of mobile access to approve or track cases? Okay, so most of the people chose manual workflows and form handling. Okay, interesting, interesting. Whoever has questions, we would love to hear them from you. Just tell us in the chat section. It would be lovely. So, Lean, one of the questions we get a lot is how does Intalio manage workflow errors?
Okay, so Intalio can manage any type of error that may occur during while you are using the system, using a comprehensive audit logs that track every step of a process. So these logs help user to identify where and why an error occurred, so it making it easier to troubleshoot and takes corrective actions without disrupting the entire workflow, let's say.
Amazing. And Lean, how does Intalio support user roles and permissions?
So Intalio support these user and permission through integration with IAM. So it's a platform to identify and for the access management, and it allows a centralized control, let's say, over user access, enabling role-based permissions, also the SSO, and a secure delegation of tasks within the workflows.
Okay, another question is, does Intalio generate dashboards? I think you showed some dashboards, right? So they're asking
Yes,
about
yes, yes,
dashboards
exactly.
displaying.
Yes, we have, as I showed before, a list of dashboards that are automatically created once you are using the Intalio workflow portal as a predefined dashboard, let's say. And if you have more, let's say, more needs or more advanced reports needed, as I said before, we have the integrated tools. We can integrate Intalio workflow with our famous Intalio Insight, and like this you can get more insightful dashboards and reports.
So yeah. So regarding the change request part, if you can clarify the question, it will be lovely.
If they mean by change request, they want to change the actual process, how it works, or the actual forms, it's totally easy. He can just enter the Intalio designer and change whatever they want, and also simply they can click on save, and the change will appear. But if they mean that they want to change the path of the workflow, they can using our transfer or our assign option.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, and by this, I guess we conclude the webinar for today. Thank you, Lean, so much.
Thank you so much, Sherif.
And we would like to thank the audience. We hope we were able to spark meaningful discussion around this topic. And yes, people are saying thank you. And we look forward to seeing you in our next webinars. Okay. So until then, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you all. Bye.